Good morning, everyone. So, doing my readings, getting the messages through. People didn't realize that I am God's wrath. You know, um, People wondering why things are going the way it's going according to the laws of the universe. Plain sight. People knew that I was great. God's greatness. Daughter of the sun and daughter of the moon. Why did God send his son Jesus? Why wouldn't he send his daughter also? You know, um, People want to be all up in my business. But if you watch my videos, you will see that I'm giving you the answers, the clues to what's going on. But since people continuously continue to exert their so-called authority, which they have none, on people thinking that things are going to go their way, they're not. The people you joined, you know, um, in those cults and covens and stuff, they knew that I was God's wrath. See, I was telling the truth in my south node. I'm telling the truth in my north node. See, people don't understand we got 4 nodes: north, south, east, and west, and you have to be able to connect all of those. That is the will. That's what's going to keep you from being stranded. That's going to keep you above waters. A lot of people wondering why they're drowning in death, in grief, in sickness, in famine, having famished emotions and behaviors. That's because all that energy you put out. See, people were trying to take my place. You can't take my place. My ancestors don't even like your asses. My ancestors coming through on y'all asses. Y'all try to disconnect me from my ancestors. Disconnect me from God. Y'all the same motherfuckers sitting up in churches with hymns and Bibles thumping, trying to talk about training a child up and making sure you respect your mothers and fathers. But you don't even respect God's children. You knew. See, that's why people wanted to downplay me and make me seem like I was mentally ill or off the rockers. But if that was the case, why do you want my gifts? If I was so bad and not so good, if you didn't need me, why would you want something that belongs to me? Help those other people that's in your covens and your cults and your secret societies understand that. Tell them truly why. See, people knew they weren't going to win anyway. That's why they had to get a collective. They had to get the communities. They had to get different sectors. They had to get different government officials to be on that team. See, these motherfuckers didn't want to go down by themselves. See, they knew they couldn't win. But they also knew that they didn't think they would be here on this earth when I woke up and became the angel of wrath. They didn't think that they would have to be here to see karma play out. See, these motherfuckers walking around like they confused. But no, that's not confusion that you're being consumed by. That's all the energy that you placed out in the atmosphere that's coming back to you. All those spellbinding books and all those spells and rituals y'all doing. See, I don't have to do any of that. I said in my messages, I can think it, I can feel it, I can say it, and it happens. See, that's my gifts. I don't need to go sacrifice and harm people. See, I can stand on my own. I can stand firm in my beliefs because I practice what I preach and I preach what I practice. I am the example that I lead by, and I make sure that when I lead by it works out for all, man and kind, meaning what you can and cannot see. As above, so below. See, a lot of people still wonder, is she a witch? Is she a warlock? Is she a jinn? Is she a god? Is she a goddess? What is she? Is she's an alien? See, I'm all of above. I'm part of creation. You know, I am justice. I am God's right and left hand. You know, you gotta understand the connection that I have to the divine. See, a lot of you motherfuckers sitting up in churches by day and in your robes, your black robes and red robes by night. See, you can't do what I do because I do what I do all day. There is no having to section off where there's a half quarter moon, a full moon, certain moon cycles. I don't have to go by certain moon cycles. This is eternity. This is eons of being able to not only replicate but to create and create greatness and create balance. You know, so go ask those folks what other secrets were they keeping. You know, because they were keeping a lot. They knew that they weren't going to win. So they wanted to make sure that if they go down, they wanted to take y'all down too. See, they were jealous of me and they said I had nothing. I wasn't going to become nothing. That's what they said. But look at them. Crying, weeping, mourning. Oh, we want her to come back. Oh my God, I miss her so much. But you saying, like, you asking yourselves in your head, I thought she wasn't shit. Well, say it out loud. Ask them vocally. Cause actions speak louder than words. Y'all seen the actions. Now talk. Speak up. You know. And ask the questions. I mean, y'all liars, they liars, you know. But the thing is, if somebody wants to lie, karma gonna hit them. And you're gonna see the counter reaction. You know, you're going to see in the way they live, in the way they feeling, their actions, their emotions, you know, their bitterness. You're going to see their true reflection. And also, they were jealous of y'all. See, these were folks that didn't have no sort of position. They didn't have no gifts. If they were jealous of me, wouldn't they be jealous of y'all? I mean, come on now. I know they were side-eyeing y'all. Why did you think they involved y'all? Because they didn't want y'all to have anything too. They knew the positions y'all were holding. y'all were having the positions to ask people in higher positions to do things. But they put me up as a bargain, a token. I got this right here. You know, it's like a genie in a bottle. And then when the genie came out, you know, now everybody running around trying to catch the genie. You know, trying to figure out where the genie go. But the genie is here. The genie was always here. The guide, the book of Revelations, the book of the universal laws, the coordinates that goes with the laws, as above, so below. You know, since you wanted to practice Christianity, you should truly understand Christianity. See, if you want to preach something, make sure you practice it. But people don't understand that all spirituality is important. We all came from a bloodline of gods, and God's a bloodline of greatness. If you want to learn and earn your inheritance and your heirlooms and acquire your Akashic records, you have to go deep. You have to not only be in your north and south node, you have to be in your east and west node. That's why a lot of folks are not getting their inheritance. Look at it as reparation. Everybody screaming reparation. That's the only way you're going to get your reparation is through spirituality. Through alignment. The cross is for north, south, east, and west. You need all that. You spin that. You know? A lot of people are in disagreements right now. Making threats, sending messages to each other. You know, hungry for some revenge, but starving for attention. Now look at you folks. I mean, y'all wanted to be nosy. I was telling y'all face to face the answers. You know, my videos got the answers. I mean, y'all the ones that choose to ignore and to ignite fires and flames. Y'all don't want to choose to do things and then wonder why things are not going in your favor. Because you're not favorable. You know, God don't have favor on you because you knew who I was. You know who the chosen ones are. You know who bloodline is which. That's why y'all chose to play holy in the daytime and then come out like demonic beings at night. But the thing is, y'all make the demons look bad. Y'all really do. Y'all have no respect and regard for the light and dark. You need light and you need dark. You need to understand that God is light and God is dark. Mother and father. The sun and the moon. You know, and you got to understand, if I wasn't ever telling the truth, things wouldn't be going the way it's going. See, I was doing well in myself, no, too. I just had to separate myself and let people go. I had to understand, man, gonna have to help themselves. See, I was here to help y'all. Y'all the ones that wanted to remove me from the people, from helping the people. So understand that when you remove me from people, you remove God from the people. And when I tell people you might as well stop going to church, they just look at me. I'm going to church. Look, you're not going to find God in no church. God don't even like you. God ain't even fucking with you. But God's got his wrath on you. God beating that ass. I know that much. But that's an ass whooping that's deserved, since people was loving to beat me when I was a child. I would get beat for telling the truth. But they swore up and down, if you lied, you were in the wrong. You're going to get beatings if you lie. Well, damn. I got beatings when I was telling the truth. So, I mean, which switch is what? You know, that's why they wanted children. They said children need to stay in children places, but adults need to stay in adult places too and act like you're an adult. Be an example. While all these motherfucking adults going around gossiping and starting shit and all this jealousy and shit, and then when something happened to their children or happened to their families, see, they were following y'all footsteps. You know, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of the energy of, you know, they can't stand on their own. You know, they knew that no matter what they said, it wasn't going to go in their favor. But the thing is, look at the government. You lie, you get charged. You tell the truth, you get charged. So truly, where's the balance in that? They need to take those scales out the courtroom, because they are not doing anyone any sort of justice. You know, so yeah, they didn't think that they would be here for Judgment Day. They didn't think that. That's why they brought everybody. They thought they would be off of this field, this plane, and they'd be able to reincarnate. But there's no more reincarnations on Earth. There's no more reincarnations. There's no more sacrificing the children of God. There's no more of that. You're responsible for your actions, your family's actions, what you bring in this world, all your Akashic records. Everything's been weighed with the feather, the sword of truth. You know, and all those things you did in your past lives, you got to pay that back too. That's retribution too. Absolutely. That's why these secret societies, they wanted to keep reincarnating in their children's and their children's to keep the bloodline going strong, keep that core, that connection. But no, that reincarnation and that coming back has been disconnected, because you've shown that you cannot handle the connection. You cannot be accountable for the connections that you make and the connections that you give, since people like to be ill-willed. So thank you.